It's day 14 of the 90-day Confidence to Cash Sprint. Every day I'm learning digital marketing and sharing my journey, and today I want to talk about something I know a lot of women struggle with, and it's the idea that wanting more somehow makes us selfish or unrealistic. You're not asking for too much. More time, more income, more freedom, you deserve it. I hear women say things like, I don't need to be rich, I just like to cover my car payment, or I just like to have the option to take Fridays off, or I just want to travel once a year without stressing about the money. And then they kind of lower their voice and say, maybe I'm asking for too much. But here's the truth, you're not. Wanting more time, more income, more freedom doesn't make you selfish, it makes you human. Think about it. How much time and energy have you already poured into work, responsibilities, taking care of everyone else's needs? You know, wanting a slice of life that's yours isn't selfish, it's overdue. You've been giving and giving and giving, and somewhere along the way, you started believing that wanting something for yourself was somehow wrong. But what if I told you that this mindset is exactly what's been keeping you stuck? What if the very thing that makes you noble, putting everyone else's needs first, is actually preventing you from becoming the woman you're meant to be? And you know, digital marketing, that's just the tool. It's not about chasing yachts or mansions. For me, it's about having choices. And choices come from options. The option to take your grandkids to the zoo without having to ask permission for a day off. The option to travel without having to swipe that credit card and worry about how you're going to pay it back. The option to say yes when your daughter asks for help with a down payment. The option to retire on your terms and not your bank account. The option to pursue that hobby or passion project without worrying about the cost. That's not too much to ask. That's exactly what you deserve. So let me tell you what changed my perspective on this. I was talking to a friend and she said something that kind of stopped me in my tracks. She says, I feel guilty even thinking about what I want anymore. When did we learn that our dreams had an expiration date? When did we decide that after a certain age, wanting more time or financial freedom was somehow inappropriate? Here's what I know now. The skills that you've developed, the wisdom that you've gained, that grit that you've built, those are your superpowers in business. You understand people, you solve problems, you've managed budgets and schedules. Every time you figured out how to stretch a budget, you were learning resource management. Every time you had to explain something complicated to a child or help a friend through a problem, you were developing communication skills. Every time you've had to juggle multiple responsibilities and somehow just make it all work, you were building project management expertise. These aren't just life experiences, they're business skills. And you just need the right vehicle to channel all of that experience. So where you are in 90 days depends on what you do today. And this one hits home for me because it's the reason I finally started. The truth is, 90 days are going to pass no matter what. 3 months from now, you'll either be exactly where you are right now, or you'll be further ahead because you decided to take action today. Let me give you an example. Think about exercise. If you walk 20 minutes a day for 90 days, you're going to feel stronger, you're going to have more energy, and you're going to see changes. But if you wait until you feel ready, 90 days later, you're in the exact same spot. Business is the same way. Every post you make, every conversation you start, every skill you practice is like another step forward. And it doesn't look like much in the moment, but when you stack those steps over 90 days, that's where transformation happens, my friend. That's why I keep showing up, because I know that every small action today builds on that foundation for tomorrow. But let me be honest about something. This isn't always easy. There are days when I question what I'm doing. Days when the tech feels overwhelming, or when I compare myself to people who seem to be much further ahead than I am. But then I remember something very powerful. Every expert was once a beginner, and every successful online entrepreneur had a day one. And most importantly, every day that I don't start is another day that I stay exactly where I am. And here's what I've already seen in just 14 days. I understand social media strategy in a way I never did before. I'm creating content consistently instead of just consuming it. I'm connecting with other women who are building businesses. But here's the biggest change. I stopped waiting for permission to want more. 2 weeks ago, I was watching other people build their dreams online, and now I'm building my own. 2 weeks ago, I was consuming content, but never creating anything for myself. Now I'm actually putting my thoughts out there. Now imagine that progress over 90 days. Imagine the skills you'll have, the network you'll build, the confidence you'll develop. That's what happens when you show up consistently. The life you dream about is closer than you think. When I first looked into this, I thought, this is way over my head. But what I've noticed is how quickly things can shift when you start showing up consistently. The very first change is confidence. You realize you can do this. You learn a little more each day, and suddenly the tech doesn't feel so scary. The second change, momentum. People start to notice your post. Someone might ask, what are you working on? You start that conversation that you never expected. The third change is vision. You start to believe again. You start to imagine yourself living with more freedom, and that vision is what pulls you forward. But let me tell you about the fourth change that surprised me, clarity. When you start taking action towards your goals, you get clear on what you actually want. Before I started this journey, my dreams were kind of vague. I want more freedom. But now they're specific. I want to be able to work from anywhere, set my own schedule, and have multiple streams of income. That clarity is powerful because it gives you something concrete to work towards. Instead of just wishing things were different, you have a clear picture of what different actually looks like. This isn't about overnight riches. It's about realizing the gap between where you are and where you want to be is smaller than you think. It's just a matter of starting and staying consistent. And you know what else is closer than you think? The community. One of the things that surprised me about this the most on this journey is how much support is available. I'm not doing this alone. There are women in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond who are building successful online businesses. And you know what? They're sharing what works, celebrating each other's wins, problem solving together. So when I say the life you dream about is closer than you think, I don't just mean the end result. I mean the support system that gets you there. And here's something powerful that I've learned. When you invest in yourself, you're not just helping you. You're modeling something important for everyone around you. You're showing your kids and your grandkids that it's never too late to build something new. You're proving that your dreams still matter. But let me talk about something that we don't discuss enough, and that is the real cost of waiting. It's not just about the money you're not making or the freedom that you're not experiencing. It's about the regret. I don't want to look back 5 years from now and think, what if I just taken that first step? Because here's the truth. The fear of failure isn't nearly as painful as the regret of never trying. And the fear of looking foolish is not as heavy as the weight of the dreams not realized. So let me leave you with this. You're not asking for too much. You're asking for what you deserve. Where you are in 90 days depends on what you do today. The life you dream about is closer than you think. And it starts when you stop putting yourself last. Have you ever had these thoughts? What if I'm too late? What if I should have started years ago? Here's the thing. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. The internet is not going anywhere. People are not going to stop buying online. If anything, there's more opportunity now than there's ever been before. Your experience is exactly what makes you relatable to other people who are where you used to be. The online space needs women who understand real life challenges. It needs you. You don't need to wait until you feel completely ready. You just need to start. Because the woman that you are meant to become is on the other side of that decision. The life you dream about is waiting for you to stop apologizing for wanting it and start working towards it. If this speaks to you, I'd love for you to check out the blueprint that I'm following. It's simple, step by step, and it's designed for women like us who are ready for more freedom and flexibility. And the link is in the description. So stop apologizing for wanting more and start building the life you deserve.